This should be interesting. So, I haven't traditionally scripted videos, and I want to try to start, but that day is not today. This last semester was hard. I finished out with good grades in both my classes, and I learned a whole heck of a lot. And I think in the last video, I was talking about how I want to do a startup and I want to be an Olympian. Still want to do those things. And while I've been trying to figure out what I'm doing for my startup, I've been going to school and trying to develop my skill sets. In this video, I want to talk about what I did this year over the course of the summer with the Build Space program, what I took in my classes, and what I learned from that, how it will affect my startup, and kind of give a background on what I've done so far in my startup, at least for the past two and a half years, and where I plan on going. And if there's time and it's not too long, maybe I'll go over what I've done so far in terms of working out, my baselines for now, and what I need to get to in order to be considered a professional athlete. I also know that I'm gonna have to tell this story a couple of times, but I need to fine tune it so that I can explain it really quickly and really easily. So I graduated in 2021, and I got a job a few months later working something that I didn't really like doing. I wasn't really an engineer. I was a technician, and I only lasted a few months before I started wanting to pursue my own startup, which was when I started making originally t-shirts and sweaters with my brother's girlfriend. And that was a little harder than I expected. I didn't find a whole lot of success doing that. I have a lot of designs made, but the actual screen printing and manufacturing of the designs onto the shirts just didn't go as planned. So about half a year to a year later, I switched over to designing stickers with my buddy, and that went all right because he had a bigger following. He could pump a sticker up and get people excited about it. But the manufacturing kind of came to a grueling halt because I couldn't find a way to automate it, and it wasn't fulfilling to me to just sell stickers. I didn't feel like I was providing a lot of value to a lot of people. It was more like a small amount of value to a medium size of people. Throughout all of that, I was still playing rugby. I'd gotten injured a couple times. So really at the height of me trying to make t-shirts, or I'd switched back to t-shirts, and I was trying to make rugby jerseys for an event. Now I got really discouraged from that because I was trying to fulfill these orders and my hand was broken. So I couldn't design it as fast as I thought I could. I couldn't find the suppliers with enough time to produce the product before the event. So it's kind of a bummer, the whole deal. And I wasn't able to make those. They're sick designs and people did want to buy them, but I couldn't get the production made. The product would have been a lower quality than what I wanted to sell or produce. So essentially, I stopped doing textiles and merchandising altogether. And I wanted to pivot over to something that was more meaningful to me. So I started looking into biomimicry, sustainability stuff. I don't know, renewables, something that, not the eco feel good stuff, but just something that made me feel like I was making a contribution in a positive way rather than a average or neutral to negative way. I think consumerism is something I don't like, and so contributing to that made me not feel so great unless it was supporting an idea that was really important to me. In college, I had some ideas about doing software projects, and then also doing VR projects, haptic suits, haptic gloves, stuff like that. I kind of have this grand idea of having a software and hardware development company, plus the automated manufacturing, plus aviation and transportation and weapons and defense and all of the, it's just, I want to figure out what I want to do for my startup that is something of value. And that's why now, 3 years later, I am looking at using hemp and using the properties of hemp and using regenerative materials for construction or textiles or mushroom leather. Right now, I'm going to be working on, over the winter break, I'm going to be working on getting my house in order and working on this drone project and my server project. Once I got to that point in my first job, I took like 3 months off. I worked really hard on the stickers. I made money, but I didn't make a profit. And I had to say, this isn't what I want to do. I want to switch over to something else. And then I got a new job. I worked that new job for a while. And then I took a complete break. I wasn't doing any designing, I wasn't trying to hustle at all. I was trying to figure out, okay, what do I actually want to do if I were to start a company? And after about a year of that, I just went back to school. I said, you know what, I can't, if I want to find a better job that I'm doing actual engineering, I need to go back to school. I need to learn how to code better. I need to be a better engineer. So I took a programming class, and I think I had met my current girlfriend, and she inspired me to take an architecture class, which was very interesting to me. I think architecture specifically because, well, now I think it's user experience, designing user experience, but it's also like the epitome of design. So I made models in that class. I took a C programming class, and I did a small project that was based off of a movie aperture lens image recognition idea I had. But coding is difficult, like a lot harder than I anticipated. To do a project on my own and to go from like this idea into a full, program. After that semester, I started a program called Build Space during the summer, and I have updates on the channel about trying to build houses out of mushrooms. And that process led me into testing and growing, and I grew some mushrooms. I didn't know anything about mushroom cultivation, so I learned a little bit from that for the whole summer. I documented most of it. And at the end of the summer, somebody threw out, hey, you should look up hempcrete because they make houses out of that. It flipped my world upside down because I had never heard of hemp or hempcrete, and I fell down the rabbit hole of hemp, and it changed my complete outlook. So this semester I took structures and research methodologies. I need to learn mechanical or civil engineering, and I need to learn how to do research. So the research method class was really hard, but I did a cool project using hemp, and I learned a lot about using hemp. There's a lot of things where it's kind of like I just messed something up really bad, but I learned through that mistake. So now I'm at this weird crossroads of, do I continue to pursue hemp, or do I pursue filmmaking as my startup and do a media company, or do I just pursue rugby more intensely, or do I do software? Do I do robotics? Do I do mechatronics? Do I do design? All of these different things, which I can do a company in any of these things and probably be successful and profitable and make money. And I don't know what I want in terms of a startup. And I think that's why I've leaned more into, let me just work out a bunch and take classes here and there when I feel like it. Oh, another thing that I got sidetracked on this semester was learning how to build a diesel electric vehicle engine, which Edison Motors is trying to do right now, and I'm really excited about it, and I want to buy one of their kits and build it myself, but I don't know anything about cars or electric vehicles, and I want to learn. So that's another project that I want to buy a little go-kart and build it up and put a roll cage on it, and so I have to learn how to weld too. So at this point in my life, I have time and room to do about 3 things, and 4 if I really push the limits of sleep and exercise or just my mental being, I guess. I can work to make money, and I have to stay at my job for another year at least. I can work out and train for the Olympics really hard. I've been outlining the times and the speeds that I need to get to. I can either go to school, try to do my startup, and those are really the two things. That's kind of what I have to decide, because if I want to just do a bunch of experiments and not do research or homework or classes, that's just me trying to figure out how to do a startup. And if I want to take classes and do research in the civil engineering department, that takes away time from filming videos and trying to get my first sale. If I'm not doing that, then I don't really have a business. So right now, I have to kind of decide. I have to work. I have to work out. And I have to film, because not doing that, I can't build a community. I can't show what I'm doing. I can't show growth and progress. So I'm going to do those three things until the job switches to the startup. And then the startup can be either going to class and doing the work. So nights and weekends, baby, and sleepless nights. I think just working on what I'm doing now and fixing my life, fixing my server, getting my house organized, getting my data organized, getting my videos organized, so that everything is in a way that I can kind of process and understand and utilize for projects whenever I need them. That's like priority number one, and that's kind of what I'm focusing on this winter break. Maybe not so much working really hard on my drone projects, but getting myself to a point that I can be sustainable in my job and I can work for the next year, year and a half, training and working while trying to build up the initial stages of my startup. So thus far, I'm a little all over the place. I'm sure you can tell. And I have been getting back into the gym, and I want to show a little bit of my progress. Beginning of this year, I was getting off of injury, so I didn't play in a couple tournaments, but here's some footage of me playing in tournaments that I did go to. That was a few months back, and I have a lot of work that I need to do if I want to play professionally. So here's a few videos of workouts and running that I've done in the past couple of weeks just to get back into working out and to stay consistent. I think I've adopted a couple of mindsets for staying consistent. First of all, just showing up. That's the hardest battle, is to show up, because once I'm there, I know I need to do my workout. And I know that's not it. That's not everything. You have to stay. I think for myself, I can't just show up and run lazy. That doesn't help me. That will hurt me. So I have to show up and be intentional about how I'm working out, how I'm in the gym, how I'm running, my form, everything. But showing up is the first step. So if I can get there and then I can maintain that consistency, and it's not like 3 days on, 3 days off. I think it's about understanding, where am I hurting in my body? What do I need to work today? I don't work out for 5 hours. I definitely don't work out for more than 2 hours anymore. I don't have the time for that. And I think hopefully as I get quicker with workouts, then maybe I do an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon, something like that. I need to hit about a 6-minute mile pace for my Bronco. I need to get like a 4-minute and 30-second Bronco. I think the last time I ran a Bronco, it was bad. It was over 5 minutes. So I have to drop a lot of time on the Bronco. I have to get in shape and fit, as well as build muscle so that I can prevent injury. I've been squatting again, mainly because I've gotten injured because I wasn't squatting. The impact that I was putting on my body from running and from rugby, it was just getting me hurt all the time. So I'm getting back into strength training. I need to hit some pretty heavy weights. My clean and jerk, I guess, and my squat and my sprints all need to be basically as fast as I can do. I got to get them down. I need to be able to sprint that 100 meters in like under 11 seconds. I need to be able to do a 40-meter dash between 4 and 5 seconds. I need my squat as heavy as it will go. I need my cleans as heavy as it will go. I need to do a broad jump for distance, I guess a shot toss. So there's a lot of work that I got to do. But now I have a little bit of a better idea of what I can shoot for as a goal. And now I can start backtracking from that. Maybe a year out, I've made X amount of progress and I'm on track to hit those goals. So that's kind of what I'm doing workout-wise. And as far as my startup goes and the projects that I'm doing, right now I'm looking at building my server, but that's more for me. I think if I could build servers for people, sure, that's a business. It's not a startup though. And I would like to build a drone GPS beacon tracker, kind of like a Skydio 2 beacon for DJI drones. So I've been using the software development kit to develop a little GPS wearable beacon, and eventually I'd like to put them inside the rugby balls or others like sports balls and have these drones just autonomously track these beacons so that you can track players or the ball, and you can switch between those or the ref or anything like that, and use the normal mode with obstacle avoidance that DJI makes to supercharge that DJI drone. It's not really how people use them, but I think that people could use them like that and get much better footage. You could get top-down footage of the whole field. You could get the side, and it would really supercharge poor man's sports into looking like NFL-ready sports for maybe not even that much, maybe a couple $1,000. You could buy a Skydio drone that does the same thing for what, $2,000, but they don't make them anymore. That's the problem. So there's not really there's no solution, and maybe the solution, there's no solution because people don't need that, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out right now. So we're gonna do some tests. We're gonna find out, I guess. So if you want to stay updated, I guess, I don't know, I'll make another video soon. So I'll see you later. Bye.